Good evening and welcome to the Village Board meeting for the Village of Pleasantville. Today is Monday, May 9. If you're watching live on Monday, May 9, we encourage you to call in if you have comments or questions. Our call-in number is 769-1677. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for 2 weeks from today, Monday, May 23rd at 8 p.m. I apologize for what will be a rather hasty appearance by me. I have a job responsibility to represent a client before a review board elsewhere in Westchester for my day job, and am supposed to be there now, but neither Joe nor Colleen were able to be here tonight, and so we need to maintain a quorum. So we're going to hurry through our resolutions. I'm going to disappear and fulfill my other obligation, and then the meeting will continue. Mindy will take over and lead through a number of other things, including an update from the folks from BFJ Planning who we have just engaged to undertake a master planning process with us. So a couple of important dates to note before we get to the resolutions. One is this coming weekend, this Saturday is Pleasantville Day, Saturday and Memorial Plaza. Last year, you may recall, Pleasantville Day had all kinds of new features, a few more new features this year. Going to be a great day. I look forward to seeing the entire community at Pleasantville Day this coming Saturday. If you could also mark your calendars for the Memorial Day Parade, which will be going on Monday, May 30, with a ceremony down at Memorial Plaza. We'll have more to say on that as well at our next meeting when it begins. And then also mark your calendars for the Pleasantville Fire Department Parade, which I have in this stack of papers here somewhere. What did I do with it? To confirm the date.
The Memorial Day Parade?
No, the Fire Department Parade.
That was
That's
it's
June
the first
It's
Saturday,
the 6th.
first Friday in June, right?
6th,
The
yes.
6th.
Yeah, so, okay.
In
So
May.
it is, the Fire Department Parade is Friday, June 3.
June 3rd.
I
Yeah,
have
the
just
6th
confirmed
is a
that,
Monday.
All right, so sorry for this hasty meeting, but we're going to run through these resolutions very, very quickly, and then I'll depart and Mindy and Steve can continue. So,
81.
81.
Resolution 81.
Resolved that the pre-check register dated May 9th, 2016, covering check numbers 83228 through 8353, has been reviewed, and they are hereby approved as listed below. From the general fund, the water fund, the capital fund, the refuse fund, and the pool fund, a total of $197,090.06.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 82.
This is an authorization for a public hearing of Chapter 185 of our zoning, of our zoning, Section 185-44E, entitled Supplemental Zoning Provisions Regarding Affirmatively Furthering Fair Housing, AAFFH units. And resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village clerk to notice a public hearing for Monday, May 23rd, 2016, 8 p.m. prevailing time at 80 Wheeler Avenue, Pleasantville, New York, to hear comments as it pertains to amending Chapter 185, the chapters I just mentioned, the zoning, supplemental zoning provisions regarding affordable housing, and it's just really to tighten up the language in that, and as I said, that will be held on May 23rd at 8 p.m.
Is there a second?
Second.
So I know there have been some comments in the community that have come to us about this, and we'd be happy to have further commentary about it and suggest that people come or contact us before that if they'd like to add their comments to the record. Again, that hearing is Monday, May 23, 2 weeks from today. Is there a second?
I seconded already.
You did? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. 83.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the request from Pleasant Avenue residents to hold a block party on Saturday, May 14th from 4 to 8 p.m. and to close Pleasant Avenue from House 15 through 122.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions?
Have
All
a
in
good time.
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the request from the Memorial Day Committee to hold the Memorial Day Parade on Monday, May 30th at 10 a.m. Said parade route to begin at Bedford Road School, proceed down Bedford Road to the Memorial Plaza, concluding with a ceremony at the World War II Monument, and further resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the Chief of Police to post no parking signs along the parade route and in Memorial Plaza, and to tow all vehicles violating this temporary parking restriction.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 85.
85, resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the request from the Superintendent of Public Works to close various parking spaces in the Memorial Plaza parking lot, on May 10th, 11th, and 12th from 8 p.m. to 4 p.m., and further authorizes the posting of signs indicating no parking and to tow vehicles in violation of this temporary parking restriction.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 86.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village administrator to purchase 2 pay stations and shelters for the Bedford Road parking lot, said amount not to exceed $19,390.
Is there a second?
Second.
So this would provide 2 new pay and display devices, same as we currently have in the lot that's on Manville, behind Dunkin' Donuts, the bookstore, Glass Onion, MacArthur's, and the Cleaners.
Right.
This would be the lot that is between the Bagel Store and Holy Innocents.
Correct.
We would remove the meters from that lot, and instead of paying at a meter, you would pay at a pay and display station, which requires that you come back with the receipt and put it on your dashboard, but the big win is that those pay and display stations take cash, but they also take credit and debit cards.
So it's not the exact same as we have in Manville, it's the same type.
Well, it's the same device,
It'd be
right?
the same one.
Literally the same
It's
device.
exactly-
Except it has
So
credit.
they don't give any
Oh,
change?
that's
No, the one
credit
at
card in
Manville
Manville
takes
now.
credit cards now, too.
That
Yeah,
was the
it's been
last time I
upgraded.
parked in Manville. Okay.
Yeah.
It does.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. I think a significant improvement. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 87.
I think it's used to.
That is me. Resolved that the
Right.
Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village administrator to engage the services of OConnor, Davies for audit and GASB 68, which is the Government Accounting Standards Board, financial reporting for fiscal year ended May 31, 2016, as per the terms set forth in their agreements dated April 4th, 2016.
Second.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Yep.
Mayor,
Aye.
can I just add, please, I would just like to amend that to include 2 optional years at a discounted price,
Oh, great.
as
Okay.
per their proposal.
Right, this was the $2,500 upcharge for the
Yes.
GASB? Okay, so it would be the fiscal year ending May 31, 2016, with the option to include the fiscal year ending May 2017 and May 2018?
Right, not to exceed $42,750 in fiscal year 2018.
So this isn't something that's done, I thought the GASB 68 was done every 2 years.
No, there's only a 1-year
1 year?
requirement
Okay.
to get that structure.
No, I'm saying that we only have to submit it every
Yes.
2 years.
And the village would have its option to avail itself of those additional years, or would that be a commitment?
Well, in this, if you enact this resolution, what we're asking to do is engage O'Connor Davies for a 3-year
Okay,
engagement.
and is it
at the
your
rates
advice that we
they've
do that?
Yes,
Okay.
at the rate
Okay.
that they've specified.
All right, the mover and the second are okay with that change?
Yes, yep.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. 88.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves
change
the
it.
following part-time employees for the Clinton Street Center: Lori Garcia, recreation attendant. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped one. George Dolce. Yay, George. Bus driver, $19 per hour, effective February 16th, 2016. Lori Garcia, recreation attendant, $12 an hour, effective May 9th, 2016. Kathleen Williamson, recreation attendant, $12 per hour, effective May 9th, 2016.
Second.
Patty, these are consistent with our budget.
Yes, they're budgeted positions.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion
Welcome
approved.
on board.
89.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby appoints the following: Scott Blaisdell to the Planning Board for a 3-year term, and John Nona to the Ethics Board for a 1-year term.
Is there a second?
Second?
This is catch-up from organization night.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you to both of you. Number 90.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the following budget amendments. These are budget transfers of $323 from law contractual to legal notices, $10,000 from general fund contingency to Pleasantville Day, $3,236 from general fund contingency to library, $1,393 from general fund contingency to banners, signs, and lights, a total of $14,951, and an appropriation of fund balance from the general fund of $46,832.78, transfer to capital DPW equipment loader. It's for our new loader that we're buying. Appropriate fund balance, refuge fund, $140,498.34. Transfer to capital DPW, again for the loader, equipment loader.
It's the chassis of the motor.
Well, they
It's
did
a-
a 75-25 split.
Yes. Appropriate reserve fund, reserve for economic development, $75,000. Transfer to capital for the Central Business District Master Plan project, which you'll hear more about later. Increased revenue and expenses, general fund capital, $4,000. Gift and donations for Pleasantville Day to Pleasantville Day, $75,000. Interfund transfer from Economic Development Reserve to the Central Business District Plan, $46,832.78 from the transfer from the general fund to the loader, $140,498.34. The intertransfer from the refuge fund to the equipment loader again, to a total of $266,331.12.
Is there a second?
Second.
Yeoman service there.
Yes.
I'm happy to have contributed my.
The best part of that is that it reflects positive results from operations last year, which are
Right.
allowing us to buy this significant piece of equipment, a
Instead of
new
borrowing
front-end
for it.
loader for
Without
cash
borrowing.
instead of borrowing it, saving everybody money. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 91.
91, I'd like to just point out, I think it's a typo in the title of this resolution, so I'll read it, but I think it should be WRITE instead of WRIGHT. So authorization to write off aged receivables parking tickets, right? You guys see that? Okay. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village treasurer to write off aged parking ticket receivables deemed uncollectible as per the board's fiscal policy.
Is there a second?
Second?
This reflects a policy we established last year to write off receivables after a period of 5 years. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I don't like it, but
Oh, boy.
Motion
I
approved.
don't like it.
Did you vote yes?
I will aye it because I think we have that
Okay.
fiscal policy in place, but I
All right,
like-
well, we're happy to revisit that,
Yeah,
but the
no,
reality is, there's no reason to carry receivables that we have no likelihood of ever capturing, and in the end, the real cost of them is relatively small. We have a very, very successful rate of capturing those receivables.
Right.
So.
Understood.
All right, number 92.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village treasurer to close aged escrows accounts and to further appropriate general fund balance to close the following trust and agency fund. There are 8 accounts and there are as stated in the record, to total $16,872.72.
Is there a second?
Second.
Patty, you want to comment about this?
Yeah, these are residual from planning efforts. Some have gone on, most of them are over 6 to 10 years old at this point, and there are balances that were open on escrow accounts for various reasons. Some were just obligations the village had to cover in terms of a due to and a due from. Others, we were left at the gate, by some of these developers, and we tried to chase down this money, but it isn't going to happen.
And
If
we
you
have
remember
since-
with Benchmark, we've actually settled that
Right.
out.
And
So-
we have since modified our mechanism of capturing
Correct.
escrows as well to reduce the likelihood of being caught this way.
Correct.
True. So, any further questions?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 93.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees, in accordance with village law, certifies the amounts of unpaid water rents due from village property owners, and hereby authorizes the village treasurer to levy unpaid water rents to the 2016-17 tax roll.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a list of unpaid water bills, and I'm encouraging everybody to catch up on their water
Yes.
bill. If they find themselves on that list, you know who you are. That expense rolls over to your tax roll, and in the end, it will get paid. So it doesn't make any sense to let it accrue. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 94.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees has reviewed the minutes of the meeting held on Monday, April 25th, 2016, and they are hereby approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. All right.
Okay.
That is the end of our resolutions.
Peter, out, drop the mic.
We
I
actually
am
have to-
bailing
Mayor?
to my next responsibility. I thank you all.
You'll have to close the meeting, and then we'll just continue in a work session.
Okay,
Oh,
so,
okay.
well, okay, so,
You can do it on camera if you want.
Yes.
You just have to
We'll
close
leave it
the
on camera,
official
keep the
meeting.
camera
Okay.
rolling,
All right,
and
so
because we have a.
is there a motion to close the
announcement?
regular session of the meeting and continue in work session that will be televised?
Yes,
So moved.
correct.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. I will see you all at the next meeting, and I
Drive safely.
apologize. See you soon.
Only because
Maybe
we didn't have
slide-
a quorum, we had to do
I'm
that.
sliding over.
Thanks, safe
Yes,
driving.
I'm sliding over, okay.
Without a quorum, you can never close a meeting, and you have to stay here for 2 weeks.
Yeah. That would just be good, just great. So I just,
We would get done.
I know, just, Steve and I are now ruling the world.
That's right.
Look
We've
out.
been waiting for this evening.
I declare Monday, May 9th,
Mindy Day.
Steve Lord and Mindy Berard Day, so we can do whatever we want. Free drinks, everybody.
Holiday again.
So we have one
meeting at
announcement
Jonathan Benning's
regarding the New York State Department of Transportation construction that's going on the Sawmill River Parkway with the detours. And I have from the contractor, Echo, I have, and I'm totally
Echo 3?
forgetting your name. I'm so sorry. Patty even like texted it to me. Bill Kromick, thank you. Could you just come up and tell us about the changes that have been made?
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay, what we'd like to do is we've been working 5 nights a week, and we do not work Friday night into Saturday morning. We would like to add that to our schedule. So far, everything's been working out very well, I believe. We haven't had a schedule to close so people at home can start. Okay.
Thank you, Shane.
I'll start again. We've been working on the job about a month and a half. We started the spring, what we call a spring detour. We've been working on Sunday nights right through Thursday nights. Now we'd like to also add Friday night to the schedule, which means same time on Friday night we'd start, and we complete on Saturday morning at 6 a.m. Add that. Reason being, 2 things happen. The weather hasn't been great over the last couple of weeks, but what we're trying to do is trying to pick up some time, if that would be agreeable to the village particularly. And the second part, we have finished one bridge, which is the Bedford Bridge underneath there. You may or may not be aware of this because it goes on at night. And we've started the Pleasantville Road Bridge. The Pleasantville Road Bridge is longer, so there are more piles there. But more importantly, the subsurface information there is not as good as it was at Bedford. So we're not sure what the timing is going to be as well like we were in Bedford Road. So we might see if we can take the opportunity to work an extra day during the week in the evening, just in case that we run into any problems, so we don't lose a potential day.
So that would be 9 p.m. closing. You'd close the road for 9 p.m.
9 p.m.
start working, and
At
then
6 a.m.
So
And
it's the same schedule as Monday through Thursday, right?
and still
Yes,
the
just
same
add
detour, the same detour.
Nothing else changed.
Okay, and you only think that's going to get you to finish earlier, later, or
It's going to. I don't think it's going to let us finish later, but I'm hoping it's going to get us finished earlier.
Yeah.
That's the idea. To try to. We have lost some time, but the concern I have is if I don't work that, if I'm not allowed to work then, and we could miss an opportunity. Again, it has to do with the village. If the village is okay with this, having us work an extra day.
Mm-hmm.
I think it kind of makes sense. We're kind of getting into good weather, and I'm a little concerned that if we miss it and we hit a bad subsurface information, this thing could go on past the date we're supposed to finish, which is July 1st, I think is the last day.
So you want
Last
this
evening.
closure from now to July till the end of the project?
No, really until this
That's
is
just a
this
spring
is spring
detour.
detour.
Just
So
spring?
it's just
Okay.
doing the nighttime deal.
So from now, for how many weeks would it be on Friday night?
So it'd only be
I think it goes to the
8 weeks
first
or so.
weekend in July, and
Right,
then
July
they're on the
1st is
summer
like-
detour.
That was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kept
Coming
trying to
up
get
quick.
at. No, I'm just, my concern is Friday night in the summer, and was the,
Right. Yeah, and that's why we originally didn't propose it, because I think Patty and everybody kind of felt we weren't too sure about that. We're asking for it now. I mean, obviously it's up to you guys whether or not we're granted that.
could we do it through like June 20th or something, and then reevaluate at that time?
I think it's going to be less of an impact as the summer goes on, to tell you the
Is
truth.
that what
The
you
traffic
think?
patterns are a lot lighter on the sawmill in June and July. So, particularly at night, what we're talking about, these hours. So we asked the police department what they thought about this. They had no issue with work commencing early. In fact, they don't have any issues with any of the work thus far. No complaints.
No complaints?
No resident calls, no accidents, no impacts. So we've been very fortunate. So
And
there,
that's very important to us.
yes,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
That's
you know,
what I want to hear,
Yeah.
because that's what we strive for.
Lieutenant Grutzen writes, there have been no reported concerns that would reflect an issue with changing the nights of work, Monday through Friday. However, he'd reserve the right to revert back to the original construction hours should there be complaints, because we also understood that you wanted to
That's exactly where I was
push this
going with
up,
that
so-
as well.
Yeah, so that's where we are.
That's
I
understood,
think.
Patty.
Okay,
Well,
so I think
yeah.
we're fine with,
I'd be fine with
This
it as
problem.
long as we can come back to you and say this isn't working.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's not a problem.
okay,
All right.
thank you.
Sounds
All
good.
right.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill.
I appreciate you waiting through those
Yeah.
Yeah.
speed reading.
Speed was a
Okay,
resolution.
in our work session, we had our first work session with BFJ Planning, who the village has contracted with to update our master plan, which we've talked about before, which is vital to our vision of the village and how we see what we're going to adapting to some of the changes and lifestyle changes and environmental changes and things like that. So in our work session, we worked out a schedule of things to come, and I want to invite up Frank Fish from BFJ Planning, who can pretty much give you a bird's eye view of what we talked about. Thank you, Frank. I know it's very intimidating having, you talking to this,
Thanks, Mindy.
full board. You're welcome.
For the public, my name is Frank Fish with BFJ Planning, and as you just described, we're been asked to really start in on what amounts to a master plan update of your existing documents, and we're hoping that the schedule we sort of went over with you is to do that through this spring, summer, and then into next fall, hoping to complete the work by Thanksgiving, if we can. Excuse me. We outlined a chart to you, and we're hoping to have in later this month, I shouldn't say later this month, but later in June, an opening public workshop, which we invite all of the public and sort of go over the goals and objectives of the plan, what you hope to do with it, the trustees, and then get public input on that. And then based on public input, we'll be developing with the board different chapters of the plan, leading up to a second workshop in September, where we would have an interactive workshop with roundtable discussions, people being able to zero in on things that they're interested in the plan. And then once that's done, getting back with the trustees again, and then going to a sort of what's called in state law just a public workshop or public hearing of the plan in process, so that people get another opportunity to comment. Once that's done, we would make final revisions to the plan, and hopefully the trustees will be able to have a final workshop in sometime before Thanksgiving in the month of November. And the way you set it up is we would be doing this jointly with the village. We'd be working through Patty's office, but I think some members of the administration, some the engineering department, and others, the trustees, would actually be doing parts of the plan update, and we've sort of gone through that with you, what sections we would be doing. And I think it's fair to say that there is a certain focus here, too, on looking at the downtown area, the area around the train station, which we've called a transit-oriented development, or a TOD for short, and getting a bit of a focus in that area because it's the area that has been studied in the past, and I think there's a lot of interest in. And we probably won't be focusing as much on solid, good residential areas, which I don't think the trustees have any changes in mind for. So we'll focus in on that at the first workshop, where the areas of focus are for the plan. And so hopefully it'll be a joint effort with the board and last through Thanksgiving. And it's really meant to be a selected update of your current plans. So that's the overall hope. And at the top of my head, I know we changed the date, but
I was just going to say, I think it's June 16th.
June 16th.
Is that what we said,
Yeah.
right? At 7 p.m. at the Clinton Street Center, and we encourage as many people as anybody you want to bring your, bring even your kids. They have some great ideas sometimes too. You'll probably hate me for saying that, but
that's good.
No, it's a really a community event that everybody should get involved in and have a say and give us your ideas. We really want to hear from you, and so that's Thursday, June 16th at 7 p.m. at the Clinton Center on Tompkins and Clinton. So what did you say?
I would just also like to add that on our website at pleasantville-ny.gov, on our homepage, we will have information up there soon that deals with all of our existing plans, all of our prior plans, just to give people some historical perspective. We'll also be using that site as an opportunity to communicate with the public as this progresses. So That's really a nice,
It's great.
opportunity for us to collect data and to circulate information.
Use it as a reference, you get ideas, and BFJ will have even some more ideas, just some references and, visuals that you can look at. But in the meantime, walk around, try to figure out like other towns, other villages, other cities that you go to, that you see certain things that, oh wow, that would be great in the village of Pleasantville. Bring it to our attention, bring it to this meeting on June 16th, and we'll talk about it. And I think that you have some fun things planned for everybody when they get there, and some interactive planning. Everybody's a planner. So thank you very much. We
Great.
appreciate it.
Okay.
We had a great work session.
Thanks, man.
Thanks very much. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody. Do we have any other announcements that we have to make?
Did you want to do that one?
No, you could do it. Go ahead.
I don't know much beyond it, but I'll read
Well,
it.
all right, read it.
Okay, so on here for the announcements includes a listing that Pleasantville was named Tree City USA by the Arbor Day Foundation. And I don't know anything beyond
Well,
that.
we have
about that,
been-
so I think you know
that's
already,
been
right?
No, but thank you
um,
for acknowledging that.
We have been a Tree City every year, I
Okay,
believe.
I knew it was a repeat.
For how many?
We
I
have to be
can't
close to
even.
30 years now.
Yeah.
Probably
Well, that's
close to
great.
30 years. We've received many awards from the Arbor Day Foundation.
Right.
The village has made commitments every year in its budget to reforest the village when we lose trees, but also to ambitiously plant trees that are native
Well,
and
that's
that can survive in our climate. And we get recognized every year by the Arbor Day Foundation for those efforts, and it's really it's really a wonderful thing to do, and the right thing
Helps
to
keep
do.
the village.
Yep.
Yeah, it just speaks to your stewardship. I mean, it's a very important thing that the board has to do, and you've kept those commitments financially and maintained the trees in this village very well. So you should be very proud of yourselves.
Thank you. We are. And then just a reminder again to everybody that Pleasantville Day is this Saturday in Memorial Plaza, and it's the new and updated, fun, incredibly fun Pleasantville Day as it was last year. And it's just there's so many activities and some great work by Peter Rogovin and Petra Zorgman and our Superintendent of Recreation, Linda Bellafato. So everybody, please come out on Saturday. We'd love to see you. Hopefully the rain is gone.
Yeah.
And we have nice sunny weather. So.
Oh, and there will be ducks for sale for the Pleasantville Duck
that's
Race.
right, the Pleasantville
So
Duck
we will be
Race.
doing the duck race again this year. So there'll
Bill,
be
you have to
come
buy-
my
you have
tent.
to buy
gotta
some
come to the duck
ducks.
race.
Okay,
It's our
I forgot to.
fifth year,
What's
I think.
is it going to be Father's Day again? Father's Day
No, I
weekend?
knew you were going to. I should have come in.
You
That's
should
okay.
do it
Right.
after the
When is
rains.
the date?
So the Pleasantville swim
well,
team every
we can
year
announce it at the next meeting.
Yeah, we'll do it at the
Okay.
next
has
one.
an annual duck race that was actually started by Trustee Lord, and it is the biggest hit, and it is the biggest hoot. You got to
It's a
come
lot of
out.
fun.
It's over by the pool, and you decorate your duck, and you buy a family of ducks, and you watch them go down the stream, and we have great prizes for the winners, and it is truly an exciting event. So please come out and share that with us.
Yeah.
And that should be it.
That's it.
We're ready to go.
Thank
are.
you.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you again on May 23rd. Good night.
Good night.
Night.